I gave myself a goal for 2026, and that was to finish a new large-scale project every quarter of this year. So every 3 months, an army needs to be finished, or a whole big project, a scenery project, or whatever. The first quarter of this year, my goal was to get an Imperial Fist army finished to my standard, like my head standard, what I've always wanted to have, where the clocks are running out. I basically have 2 days left to finish this entire project. Can I get it done? We'll find out in today's video. Before we get into it though, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone out there that continues to support mediocre hobbies across all the different platforms, and of course all different channels, because we do have Old World Wednesday and Middle Earth Money as 2 additional channels now. So if you want to check those out, they're linked down below. There's also all those people out there that go the extra mile and support me over on Patreon. Without you guys, I literally could not keep doing this. YouTube has been messing us around for months, going up and down with how much money they're paying creators. It's been an absolute nightmare, and the steady income from Patreon really has kept things going. So to thank those people, we have added in obviously the extra giveaway every single month, just as a little extra cherry on top for people getting involved. This month, as we are in a new month, we are giving away this thanks to Underworld Gaming, the awesome independent stockist here in Dublin. They've sent me this box set to give to you guys this month. So one lucky Patreon member will win this box set, and it will be sent to anywhere in the world at my expense. So like I said, if you want to be on a chance of winning that, check out the link below, check out Patreon, and get signed up at any tier. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and get these Imperial Fist models painted up. Okay, so this is all that's left. I have 5 Primaris Intercessors, which basically make up the other half of a squad that's already complete. I basically have 2 days to get these guys done. Can I get them done in 2 days? Maybe. To save myself a little bit of time, I decided to airbrush on the first coat. I haven't airbrushed on the first coat before, but I will probably continue to do this moving forward, as I did get a nice smooth coat, and it did save a lot of time. I was brushing this on, and I was being super careful not to hit any of the other details and stuff, because my silly brain works that way. And honestly, it would have taken maybe 2.5, 3 hours to base coat them all in, which I know it sounds ridiculous, but when you've got this kind of paint and you're trying to be careful, it does take that much time. Whereas this, with the airbrushing, even though you can see I'm moving quite slow with the airbrush, it is a hell of a lot quicker than with a brush. So I'd say this only took maybe 10 minutes to do across 5 guys. Now, I am following a fairly harsh rule for myself when it comes to this army, because I have a tendency of removing the joy of a project from myself because I don't give myself a set finish line. And I know that's a very bizarre thing to say, but I tend to just keep painting armies until I get kind of tired of painting them, and then I stop and I move on to something else. But I kind of have enough kind of hobby stamina that the armies usually get quite large before I do it, like my Black Templars, or you know, my Krieg, for instance. My Krieg is about 10 to 12,000 points of fully painted models. But I have never gotten that sense of achievement if I've finished the army. And the same with my Black Templars. There's probably about 4,000 points of Black Templars painted, but I've never gotten the joy of, I have finished this army. Well, I've written this very strict 2,000 point Imperial Fist list that I'm working towards finishing. And I promised myself I wasn't going to paint up any more of these guys until 11th edition drops and I get to play around with some new models, which will get added into this force. And that means I'm going to put away all the other Imperial Fist models that I've kind of built, all the spare grey Space Marines that are sat on other shelves, ready to kind of be painted and join this army. I'm actually going to put them away. So I'm just going to have this shelf with a finished army. If someone comes over and says, hey, do you want to play 40k, 2k? Yep, boom. And I just take out that army and we play. No changing, no chopping around, no messing, just go. And this is something that I'm going to try my very, very best to follow through with this year. This year is 4 large projects, 1 a quarter, and each one is going to have a very strict start and finish as it goes to kind of model count, what units are being taken and stuff like that. So I am very excited to see what kind of 4 forces I have at the end of this year, or more, we'll see what that looks like. So yeah, this is the last 5 guys. I'm excited. I've never had an Imperial Fist army fully painted before. Tried to paint Imperial Fist about 50 times before, and I've always fallen short. I've always failed. I've always been unhappy with the results, and then the project has kind of petered out. That is not the case with this, and it feels good to be kind of getting these kind of last hours of painting in on the army. Now, I will say I gave it a monstrous effort the kind of day before, the 29th or 31st, whatever day it was, trying to get this done before the end of the quarter, and I just couldn't. I managed to get all the base coats on. I managed to glaze up all the yellow armor. It was all ready to rock and roll. I just had to start the edge highlighting, And unfortunately, I just ran out of time. So I told myself it would be okay. I'll just carry it on to the next day. And luckily I didn't try and power through, because the first layer of edge highlighting took nearly 5 hours across. So it was about an hour a model. So yeah, it's anyone wants to edge highlight Space Marines, maybe don't. It's an awful lot of time. The results are very nice, but it's an awful lot of time. And as you can see, these guys are, the yellow is glazed, and I'm now blocking in the extra details with black, and I'm starting that edge highlighting process. As you can see here, it's just me with a fine pointed brush, being very careful, going around with flash kit yellow and edging every single edge of this entire thing on every single model, which is 5 guys. Because so many segmented places, so much armor to do, there's a lot of edges, it does take an awful lot of time. We'll follow that up, of course, with our Dorn yellow next edge highlight, but this is a lot less surface area. We're just going for kind of the sharp corners. About 20% of the edges are going to be done in the Dorn yellow edge highlight, and that does make a huge difference. I think that's actually the biggest transition, is the next edge highlight. It really makes the armor pop. It really makes it kind of exciting and interesting. And it's definitely my favorite kind of point of a model. 2 favorite points are putting that black layer on to kind of pull apart the yellow armor plates and kind of tidy everything up. And then this edge highlight step with the Dorn yellow, just hitting those kind of sharp points. As you see, just going for the corners. And I think it just transforms. It ascends the armor to looking like I've spent so much time on it. And maybe it's because I have spent so much time on it. But before now, I don't think it looked like I spent that much time. And I really enjoy it. It's such a joy to paint these guys up. And that's the thing, although I may be complaining about how long it's taking, I actually quite enjoy the scheme, which is kind of fun. Like I'm excited for whenever the 11th edition box set drops and I get to paint up whatever cool new Space Marines are in that to match these guys and start to play through that force. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Does anybody else out there have a dream army that they are just, I don't know, too nervous to paint, or feel like they don't have the confidence to do it and get started? Or have you started it before and fallen short? I'm sure we all have kind of projects like that. I'd love to know what those projects are for you. What army have you dreamed about fielding across the tabletop and just it's never quite happened for you? Is it a glorious Cadian 8th army supported by armor and artillery? Is it a White Scars army? I know a lot of people have wanted glorious White Scars army, but it's just such a terrifying thing to think about. Or is it something else? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious. I'm also planning on using this as the main army to play 11th edition with. So obviously my 2 main armies are going to be, my 3 main armies, sorry, for 11th edition are going to be Orcs, Cadians, and Imperial Fists. Those are the 3 that I'm going to focus on. I'm going to make sure that I have a beautiful, fully painted, and fully ready to go 2,000 point army for all of those guys. Basically a couple of months after launch, and then I'm going to play my little heart out and try and enjoy 11th edition as much as possible. I have big plans for the next video on the channel to be me making a custom scenery piece, or should I say rescuing an old rare custom scenery piece that Games Workshop used to sell and making it into an 11th edition piece of scenery. And how will it be an 11th edition piece of scenery? What will be different? It should look like an objective. I want this piece of scenery to go down, and when I say to someone who's coming along, that's the objective we're fighting over, they understand, like, oh, that makes sense, that's really cool, I really like that. So that's my goal with the next video. So if you're excited to see what that might look like, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell notification so you get notified when that video goes live. And then all the other 11th edition videos will be coming out kind of quick and fast after the army's dropped. I'm very excited for it now. So I'm coming into the last steps now. The model is all base coated. The armor is fully done. I've put on all the other base coats on, like chest armor, and all the metallics and the gun and stuff are done. We're now throwing a Nuln Oil across those sections. And then we're going in for a very quick few edge highlights. And the chest armor is done in that kind of rosy pink color. By the way, I know I haven't been showing off the paints specifically on how to do this. This is kind of like a quick fire round getting 5 guys done. I have done some Imperial Fist videos very recently of some Terminators and everything. And I go into extreme detail on every paint used for every brushstroke. And they will, of course, translate exactly over to what I'm doing here. So if you really want to know how I painted this guy, please do just go check out those videos and see how I did it. Just making all those metallics pop a little bit more. Highlighted the chest. The eyes are now done. And all we need to do now is decide on transfers. This is the second half of an intercessor squad, and it's basically the second squad in the company. So they are going to get an awesome Imperial Fist symbol on the left shoulder pad, the tactical symbol on the right with the Roman numerals in 2 across that, and that will basically finish off this squad, and we will be kind of ready to place them on the shelf and see what they look like as a whole kind of cohesive force. I can't tell you how much it means to me to finally have this army done and finally have an Imperial Fist army that I'm super proud of on a tabletop and be playing with very, very soon. I have my first opponent planned, as in I know exactly who I'm going to play my first 2,000 point game with. I don't think he knows it yet, but he will soon. I think out of anyone else I know, he's the one that deserves to play against him the most. And it should be a really fun game. Maybe I'll take some pictures for some videos for you guys and show you what happened, and we can take it from there. So here I am blasting through, getting those transfers done, obviously focusing on the Imperial Fist symbol. I've done a million videos on doing transfers. Learning how to do good transfers is super easy, but it's a super important skill. Please do not go through life ignoring transfers. Please, 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 please. I promise you, they accelerate your models so far with such little effort. They look incredible. So please do follow through. And here we have the finished 5 Intercessor Space Marines ready for the tabletop. I'm so pleased. And I'm very excited to show you this entire army on a table after just a couple more words. Before we go into the grand reveal of the army as a whole, I just need you to understand how important Imperial Fists are to me. Anyone who has visited Warhammer World, and I don't mean in the last kind of couple of years when it's become really like a destination point, like years ago when it's still at the events hall, it's still at Bugman's Bar and stuff like that, but it wasn't as crazy as it is today. If anyone remembers the old Hall of Miniatures, you walked up the stairs and then into this red carpeted giant room which just had all the walls completely covered in these gleaming crystal cabinets everywhere, and all the models were displayed there. It was an immense sight. I still get nostalgic thinking about it. Well, if you go in, you took a left, second cabinet in, bottom row was the Studio Imperial Fist Army. And every time I visited Warhammer World, I spent at least an hour staring at that force. It meant so much to me. And I never thought I would be at a point where I owned an army that looked a fraction as good as that. So this is a really big deal for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and you're going to enjoy the army that I'm about to show you. And here it is, 2,000 points, fully painted, fully ready for war. All on custom 3D printed resin bases. Everything is done and I am just so enamored with it. Now, I have to have a big caveat to this because I only painted half of this. And the story goes, a very, very close friend of mine, one of my closest friends, made me a gift when I reached 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and he painted me 1,000 points of Imperial Fist Space Marines, and that's half of the army in front of me. And he basically threw the gauntlet down and was like, here is half of the army that you've always wanted. He said he would paint the other half for me if I reached 100,000, but I was like, you know what, no. This is a brilliant thing, and I really liked what he did and how he did it. So I basically said, can you just sit down and teach me how to paint Imperial Fists like this? And he, of course, very kindly took time out of his day. He sent me a paint list across. I ordered every single paint that he used. And he spent an entire day sitting down with me and taught me how to paint Imperial Fists, which then allowed me over the course of the next, I guess, 25,000 subscribers, to paint up the other 1,000 points of the army to give me this finished collection. So I will not say that this is all of mine. This is all of my work. This is only half of my work. And a huge thank you to him. I'm sure, hopefully he's watching this video and he knows how much that that gift meant to me, and the effort that he put in means to me all the time. So thank you so much. So yes, the army consists of 2 10-man intercessor squads, all fully done. One has Power Fist, one has Power Sword. He painted the 2 5-man halves of this, so then I had to paint 5 back rankers for each of those. In each of those squads, I have a unique guy in case I want to split them into 4 5-man squads. So this guy will count as the sergeant if I want for the second one. And then coming across here, there's just a guy kind of pointing with the bolter. He will be the second one. He has the Company Heroes squad, which I don't think I would have personally painted up one of these. Like, I never really thought about including one in my army. And then it was awesome that he had done that for me. I've used them in a couple of games now and they're fantastic. So big thank you for that. I painted up my Lysander. He painted up the Tech Marine. I painted up the Terminators. He painted up the Aggressors. I painted up the Incursors. I painted the Gladiator. He did 2 of the Dreads, and I did 2 of the Dreads, and he did the awesome Vindicator. So he did the Ballistus and the Brutalis, and then I did the Invictor Warsuit, and I did the standard Redemptor Dreadnought. So this is literally 2,000 points on the nose. These guys were actually a squad of 5 heavy intercessors, and then the points changed a little while ago, so I had to scrap them and include in intercessors instead, or sorry, incursors instead. But that's totally fine because they'll pair with them really well. So here is, like I said, the finished army. I'm not very good at this kind of showcase stuff. I just wanted to share with you what the final result is, and that we did manage to get across the line, although we are a day late. Do I mind? Nah, I'm okay with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you're excited to see what we do with next quarter's targets.